Live from the Scruffy Womp Rat Cantina, this is Under the Twin Suns.
Welcome back to Under the Twin Suns, the weekly podcast where we talk about the game mode Twin Suns in Star Wars Unlimited. My name is Cole, I'm your host, and I'm joined by my good friends, the three guys. Ruben is unable to make it this week, but he'll be back soon. Don't worry. But Chris is back. Everybody clap for Chris. He's back.
Woo, 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 woo. Thank you.
He's not dead.
No. Now there are four. Now there are five of them. Damn. Messed up that joke. All right. So as always, one of the intros we're going to start with this week is also Editor Cole put up the spoiler warning. Some more Set 4 stuff got leaked, as it always does. But you know, we love to see that. Is it just me? Total random tangent. Is it just me? Or are they doing a way better job of not just dumping them all? Like, I feel like we've seen a lot of cards, but I feel like with Set 2 going into Set 3, there was such a, I don't want to say lull in the community, but lull in the community, that they were trying to dump out as many spoilers as they could a day. I feel like it's been a lot more controlled now.
Yeah, they're definitely getting better at it. I think they've learned as this is their fourth set now. I think they're getting in their groove as to how they want to go about the spoiler season and stretching it out, keeping the hype going.
I really appreciate how they're not stuffing too many spoilers down our throats, but we're getting just enough to keep my interest every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So for me, the card that we're probably all wondering about is the legendary design for Twin Suns. Now, of course, there have been cards designed for Twin Suns before, in Proprietary Among Thieves, etc. But this one is like, they had to have designed it for Twin Suns. The Stolen AT Hauler is only a 3-cost cunning card. It is a 4/5 vehicle. It is a space unit, underworld, and transport. And when it is defeated, you choose an opponent. For this phase, they may play this unit from its owner's discard pile for free. So either there's going to be some combo card that's crazy that goes with this for Premier, or this is designed for Twin Suns, and it's just one of those things that helps you get a friend. Unless there's going to be another combo card that goes alongside it, like maybe, like I understand Traders would be good for this maybe, but that feels like such a waste. But this is a card that feels like this is for Twin Suns, because once it dies, I can pick the person that I'm need a favor from, or the person that I want to ally myself with. You know, you never know. And it was also interesting to me that this is the first truly legendary card that I went, this is for Twin Suns.
Agreed.
Yeah, because even in Premiere, it says they may pay the cost. It's not forcing them to spend resources. Although that would be interesting, but possibly
Yeah.
annoying.
You know what else I just
And
thought
they can
of?
play it for free. That's
Yeah.
nuts.
Wait, aren't
I mean,
all
3
legendaries going to
costs
be in the
4/5.
Carbonite too? Like, couldn't this be a Carbonite card? That'd be cool.
Oh, that's true. And you're right, Steve. I missed the free. Yeah. So it wouldn't even.
Yeah, that's what
Not
I'm saying is
breaches.
crazy, Jonathan. Like the fact that you just, and it's a 3-cost 4/5. Like it's just such
Yeah.
efficiency. It's just so
And again-
I play it.
economic.
I
Oh,
play
yeah.
it, Ruben kills it, and then I give it to Jonathan.
Exactly. This is
And
such
then
a
when
just
I kill
yellow
it, I give it back to
staple.
you, Steve.
Yeah, we just trade the whole
Back
game.
and forth.
And I think the thing that's interesting is originally when I got into this game, I thought transports were really bad, but now that I'm seeing so many cards come out with transport tags and so many event cards that support transports, I think transports are kind of goated.
Yep.
I'd agree.
Was it what is it? Oh, it's the Boba Fett pilot that when you pilot a transport, you can do 2 damage instead of the 1 damage.
Ooh.
Like there's like these subtle things, they're like little combos. It's exciting.
I can't wait to get my hands on that one.
I think it'll be something that we have to really look at and play it out and see how it goes. It might. It also may be one of those things where it's in theory, transport
Mm-hmm.
feel like they're great, and then you build a deck around it, and you're like, yeah, maybe it's not as great as we thought, but also it may be something that gets built out even further in the future in future sets.
Very true. Steve, you want to go next?
Oh, yeah, I'll go next. I wanted to talk about Admiral Trench, or however it goes. He's
That was pretty good to me.
he's
Sounded.
a leader. Oh, thank you, thank you. He's a leader in cunning and villainy. He is a 6-cost leader. He has the action ability: discard a card that costs 3 or more from your hand. If you do, draw a card, and you can pay 3 and exhaust him if you control 6 or more resources. And he deploys as a 4/5 that says, when deployed, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. An opponent chooses 2 of them, draw one of the remaining cards, and discard the other. I was so hyped when this was released. I was like, oh, this is going to be sweet for Twin Suns. It's this grindy card. I love grindy cards. It's in villainy. It's got one of my favorite effects in like a fact or fiction from Magic, kind of like this reveal cards, and then your opponent puts, chooses some of them. You get to choose what's left. Like, I love those kind of like political, like grindy cards. And then I got to thinking about it. And the more I thought about this card, the more I thought I will never play it. Like, okay, I have to. It's not. It doesn't have an epic action, so you can deploy it as
That's
many
what I was
times
just
as you
gonna
want,
bring up. That's what I was gonna bring
which
up.
is cool. Which is cool. But how many times are you actually going to deploy it, and is it going to be worth it? Like, if I have 6 resources, this game's almost over. Like, how many games have we played where it's 6 resources time? People are
Yeah.
flipping their Rays, they're flipping their Cad Banes, they're flipping their 6, and the game's almost over. So, like, I'm only going to be probably flipping him once, maybe twice. And if I'm flipping him twice, it means he died, probably didn't do anything. So, like, I'm never going to be taking advantage of the fact that it's not an epic action. And then the draw, like the card draw, is fine, but late game I'm gonna really need something. Like, I'm gonna be looking for something to save me or to win me the game. And there's no way, no matter who I pick, there's no way that opponent's gonna let me have the answers I need. They're gonna give me 2 cards that are trash, and every time. So, and he's a 4/5 with no abilities. 4/5 at 6 resources is not gonna cut it. That's terrible rate. His action ability is neat. It's like not card advantage. It's more of like a looting effect, and
Yeah.
it's a restrictive looting effect, which is not card advantage at all. Like, if I don't have anything that has cost 3 or less, and I'm looking for something because I had a bad mulligan, like, I don't know. The more I think about this card, the more I hate it. But I was very hyped on it at first.
The only thing that came to my mind once I saw this was this and a Dr. Afro would be funny. Not good, but funny.
it would be funny, but we have better
Yeah,
we have
100%.
better discard effects, and it's the same color as Afro, so it's like I'm not getting any more. I'm
No,
not
you're
getting
not.
anything
I'm
that
just
I
saying
didn't already
that's
get.
the only combo that came to my
I
mind.
know,
This
but
just does seem
you know,
bad. I'm not gonna lie. But you know what else seemed really bad? Quinlan, and he's taken over the meta. So
you are not wrong,
I
sir.
don't know.
You're
I'm
not
not
wrong.
trying to be a hater, but like, maybe he'll be good. But no, I would agree. It is kind of funny though, like, and we were talking about this pre-show, like, they've done such a good job lately. I know I keep like praising FFG, but we're gonna get to why later. But they've done such a good job of keeping characters like true to their canon and universe self. Like, Trench just doesn't die. Like, every time you think he's done, he just pops back up like, I'd do it again. I'd do it again. But yeah, no, it's interesting. I agree with you, Steve. I don't see it. Anyone else have any other different thoughts?
I trying to think of how to make it work. Maybe reprocess if you can get early 4 droids
Maybe.
to exploit something, but like that's a stretch.
I mean, he is a Sep. That's not bad. Maybe with Dooku, but
Yeah, for Twin
He's
an
Suns, it might actually be
official.
more possible.
he is an official. But the only guy that I really think of that takes advantage of officials is the Imperial Royal Guard, which I guess, but
And the official deck is more leaning more heroic,
it
if I'm not
really is
mistaken.
because of
Like
the
the
petition, the
Senate,
Senate,
all
and
that
yeah,
is,
exactly. Yeah, I don't get it. We'll see.
I'm with everyone else on
it's a
that.
miss.
Can't all be hits. They can't. Just
Nope.
statistically speaking, they can't.
So it comes out of left field, but we'll have to wait and see.
Jonathan, how about you?
Luke kind of caught my eye. Luke Skywalker, another 6-drop hero, 6-cost hero that either comes down as a 5/6 as a unit, or you can attach it to a vehicle for +4/+5, and it gives the attached vehicle on attack. You may deal 3 damage to a unit if it's a fighter. But on top of that, what caught my eye was it says this upgrade can't be defeated by enemy card abilities.
That
I'm
really
curious
doubles down on
how.
that.
Yeah, like I'm curious how problematic removal will be in this next set, and if that really is a benefit.
I mean, this seems like they're anticipating it to me, right? Like the fact that they want certain leaders to be better. They're like, well, Confiscate would immediately break this. This and Chewy,
Yeah.
Shadowed Intentions. Shadowed Intentions is just yellow, right? Is it a yellow villainy?
Yeah, it's just cunning.
Yeah,
it's just
like
cunning.
as much as a couple months ago, I was guilty of this. Like, oh, removal's just gonna be so easy. This is gonna be such a bad set. The more they reveal, I'm like, I think I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong. But yeah, no, I completely agree, Jonathan. It's weird, or not weird, but it's interesting how many cards are getting that. The Lurking Tie Phantom treatment, if you will.
It is it's important to note that like this upgrade, it gives the unit legend it gives the unit, it's now a leader unit. But it this upgrade can't be defeated by enemy card abilities. You could still Rivals Fall the unit that you put Luke on.
Right.
And that would still make him fall off. So like it's protection, but it can be gotten around, which is good. I wish that it had given the unit the ability, like made the unit a Lurking Tie Phantom, but right, yeah, waylay it too. That's true.
I think there's going to be answers, but I think it's not going to be as cookie cutter as we originally thought it would be.
If you don't have the answers, my God, the thing hits hard.
Yeah. No, that's a problem. That's a problem. Chris, yourself?
Sure. Well, I am traditionally a heroic player, and I have been waiting for Hera. I have been waiting for Hera to be and Spectre to be usable and an answer to playable. Let's just say playable. Let's be honest. So I was, first I saw the Hera unit come out earlier this week, and I was like, meh, meh, it's okay. But then I saw the Ghost unit come out, and that just made Spectre so incredible and amazing. It just seems to be the viable answer for everything. It's 5 cost space unit. It's 5/6, but really its ability there. It reads each other friendly Spectre unit gains this unit's keywords. So, for instance, when you drop that Hera unit on it, all the other units all of a sudden get restore. So then if you start playing upgrades on it, I mean, just the possibilities are endless, and I think that will totally make Spectre amazing. And I think it will, folks will have to totally change their gameplay, and all of a sudden this Ghost unit will have to be immediately what you take down. Otherwise, it's going to shift the game.
The only negative thing that I've seen online about this is you throw a bounty on it.
I was gonna say, yeah. Chip pointed out the group message. You put bounty on something, and they all get bounty
because it is a keyword.
Yeah.
So then, are you moving
concern.
upgrade removal for yourself?
No, yeah, absolutely. You have to use it yourself. Like confiscates are going to be having to be used everywhere. But that's the But yes, Chris, I agree. This is awesome. Like I would love Spectre to be relevant. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I just think I'll definitely be building a deck around this and trying to mitigate those bounty cards, have some removal to remove the bounties, but keep everything else on it, and get some use of my Hera finally.
Devotion on this would go crazy. Everybody gets restored too.
Yep.
Nuts.
A tear came to eye when Heart of the Family. Oh, that's so good. I love that.
They're doing a good job. I know I keep saying this. They're doing a really good job with the flavor
Yeah,
testing and everything.
yeah.
All
And the
right.
art is getting much better.
Oh, I'm so
Mm.
much happier. Like, I know we talked about this. Like, the weekly plays for or for set 3 were way better than set 2. I can't wait to see what they do for set 4. They're finally finding their stride. Steve, I've been told you have a meme for us.
Indubitably.
Play the intro.
Well, I realize that this meme cannot be currently attainable, but I have a goal. It's I have a vision. Okay,
Would you
there
say
are
you have a plan?
currently I have a plan. There are 8 current cards that are Jedi Council that are on the Jedi Council during the Clone Wars. We've got Yoda, Shakti, Plo Koon, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Obi-Wan, Kit Fisto, Luminara, and Mace Windu. My meme of the week is I want to assemble the Jedi Council. And we don't have all of them. We're still missing 6. So we don't have the whole council. But I'm picturing like a turn 2 Yoda, a turn 3 Shakti, a turn 4 Plo Koon or Ki-Adi-Mundi, whichever one, and then you follow it up the next turn. So you're just going right up the curve. Obi-Wan and Kit Fisto both come out next, and then Luminara and Mace Windu come out last. And I want to assemble the Jedi Council, and of course, I'm not gonna put Anakin because he's not on it.
Well, we do recognize your seat on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
Ridiculous. It's unfair.
Sit down, young man.
I am. I do anticipate with the next set, though, it being a potentially Force themed set. We've got to get at least a couple of these missing members on there.
I would hope.
Like a Depo Balaba butchered that thing.
Snake guy,
Butchered that
right?
name. Depo. No, she's the one that trains Kanan. She's Kanan's master.
Oh, sorry.
And then Agent Kolar, he was in episode 3. He's one of the ones that tries to take out Palpatine in the office and gets immediately butchered. Like they've been on camera, like
Yaddle.
and we've gotten way more obscure cards. So once we get the full Jedi Council, I am absolutely gonna try and play all of them, maybe off of like a U-wing. I think would be kind of
Ooh,
cool.
that would be funny.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be really funny. Yeah, Chris and I constantly talk about this. If we don't get a Revan card by the end of this game, we're gonna riot.
I will quit. Yeah, that's undebatable. That's got to happen.
Well, thank you for the meme. I look forward to it, and then I look forward to executing Order 66.
Asshole. Well, joke's on you. Order 66 doesn't kill like half of these cards.
You're right, because they have to have more than 6. It's 6 damage. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So just in lore accurate nonsense, most Jedi survived Order 66 at this
Every
point.
week more have. Like every week,
Yeah.
Order 66 was a little bit less effective.
In doing research for this meme, I discovered several that are on this council that are not confirmed dead. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Who knows?
They were really good. Didn't they just finish Jocasta? I know she's not on the council, but there's a total random side tangent. Jocasta Nu was just finally killed in the Vader comic a few years ago. Like they left her alive for a long time.
Wasn't she killed in Force Unleashed?
Remember that's not canon anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, boo.
But you are correct.
It's canon to me.
It is canon to everybody in this call, but not Disney. But no, Jocasta Nu survives, figures out like Darth Vader is Anakin, and then he's like, "Ha! Stab!"
Brutal.
Yeah, it's a pretty good comic series. If you've never read the Vader comic series, Cole highly recommends it. All right, let's get into the main topic this week. A couple things. So let's start with the discussion of what happened to the TCG market as a whole, and then what that will mean for Star Wars Unlimited. So, For those of our audience who are not addicted to shiny cardboard like me, like cripplingly addicted, you may not be aware of what's been happening the last couple weeks. So currently, my other main game is Pokemon. I love those little critters. They're the most adorable little guys. I have positive memories playing the games with my brother and opening packs with my parents and my grandparents. It's a positive thing for me. Now, a lot of you neckbeards have gotten out there and started to ruin my hobby. And the issue is, currently, Pokemon Pocket, as well as the new sets that are more old school style, and a combination of botting issues and misallocation and low print levels, Pokemon has now hit a new all-time high, which I cannot believe I am saying 4 years after the COVID all-time highs. Cole, what do you possibly mean? Almost every Pokemon item, sealed product, big cards related to evolution or evolutions explicitly, what's the evolving skies boxes, everything has gotten to such a point that I am surprised when I see Pokemon in the real world. At our local game store, I have gone the last 5 weeks to our weekly plays, and there has not been packs of Pokemon. And we know this guy has a good distributor. The crazy part is, in cycles of markets like this isn't supposed to happen this quickly. Like that we went into from a bull run in 2020 to a bull run in 2025. Cole, what does this mean? If you see Pokemon stuff below MSRP, not everything, mind you. You really need to do your research and understand it, but a lot of this stuff is going to continue to accumulate value for probably the next year to year and a half. What this really means is we're going into a very difficult time to be a Pokemon collector and player, honestly. It's going to be hard to get product. It's going to continue to be difficult. Cole, the Pokemon company has said they're going to fix it. No, I don't believe that for a second. I hate to be this guy. That's not going to happen. They love that this is happening right now. They are so happy that every single time they put product up, 12 minutes later it's sold out. I hate to be this guy. Okay, I'm going to take a breath. I know I just talked for a couple minutes. So that's the first part of our discussion. Jonathan, do you have anything to add? I don't know if you've really gotten into the local game store scene up where you, because I know you just moved. I'm not trying to dox you, but is it any different up there?
I'm still getting kind of settled in with that, so I haven't really put out feelers out here yet. But even I think when I was out with you guys, I didn't do much of like the single buying. It was just kind of the initial, oh, pre-release is out. I'll buy a box if it's available. But like you said, I'm curious to see where this takes all card games in general.
Well, you've set up my next point. But the final point I have is, Cole, why are you such a hater right now? I'm a hater right now because of one example. Temporal Forces, the worst set in modern Pokemon. Oh, I don't care if you like it. Is currently going for 170 a box. Whereas 6 weeks ago, you could buy a box of it for 110. The highest hit in that set is $50. It is a bad set. People do not like it, and the individual packs are much cheaper than buying a full box. But people are buying sealed boxes because they're sure that it will go up in value. And you know what's crazy? It freaking will. And in a month or two, I'm going to be going, I can't believe Temporal Forces is 200 or 220. Like, it's just crazy. Is this sustainable? Absolutely not. But it'll happen for the next year and a half until the Pokemon company can either get the botting issues under control. And when I say botting issues, guys, what's happening is the minute that new product goes up, like for example, Journey Together, which is the next Pokemon set, bots, scalpers, and people who just get lucky are able to buy the product at maximum quantities in like 5 or 10 minutes. When the Evolution set came out, I tried to pre-order like 30 times. I got 2 to go through. I've only opened 18 packs of this set. And you know what's crazy? That's a lot compared to most people. Like and people are hoarding this stuff. I'm gonna stop on the Pokemon stuff because I'm getting heated. My next point.
Oh, not bothered even there.
I'm actually a little hot right now, and I'm thinking about taking my sweatshirt off. Anyone else have any comments on that?
I don't know a whole lot about the Pokemans. I know what a Pikachu looks like. But I do know that card game has been around long enough to where they really shouldn't be having those kind of issues at this point. I think that's a little silly. Um, I know that our most expensive set, Spark of Rebellion, you can get a box right now for $93.50, TCG, and you've got numerous amounts of good pulls you can pull out of that box. And then you cut to Twilight, where you can get a box for $61,
Oh yeah.
and you can pull a Cad Bane or a Now There Are Two of Them, and you will get your money back. But if you don't, then yeah, you just lost. You just lost
But
out.
if you somehow pull a showcase, you almost 2 to 3x guaranteed.
That is true. That is true. I know this is great for people getting in. It's great for players. We don't have to spend a lot of money to get the cards we need. That's awesome. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I am saying that it does hurt your local game store quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of like where you're gonna go to play your cards most of the time. Like, yeah, you might like play at your kitchen table, or you might travel to an event twice a year, but most of the time your weekly going to your game store is where you're gonna go. So is it great for us? Sure. But when we can buy the boxes cheaper online than our local game store can buy, then it's kind of an issue. I know that in our area, the local game store that we go to is the only one now that supports Star Wars Unlimited, because it's not profitable to not. You know what I mean? Like, and I it's really sad. I don't want to see this hobby die because there's no value in it. And it's looking like this next set's going to have some good financial upside in buying boxes. So hopefully it'll recover.
Especially carbonite boxes. Don't worry, this will all have a happy ending, because that is where we're going to get to. Like, the point of this discussion is Star Wars Unlimited is the most affordable game to get into right now. I'm just presenting my work and my arguments. And everybody's kind of here just to listen to me rant, because I've done a lot of research on this throughout the week, because I have not been sleeping this week, fun fact.
That's cool.
And what are you going to do? Maybe after this. So exactly what Steve said. Star Wars Unlimited is the most affordable game right now, but we will get to that. But Steve gave us a couple examples of why. Next, a game that Steve is a little bit more familiar with. This is a market development as of last night. The new Magic the Gathering set, Aether Drift, their collector boxes fell off a freaking cliff yesterday. They went from 300 to, I think they're at 220 now. Let me double check that. Yeah, they're at 220 now, like the collector boxes. And the reason behind this is they did not put a lot of serialized cards into this box. There is only a single serialized card for the entire set. So people have realized that it's as of right now, it's overvalued. 230 is a fair price is what I'm trying to say.
Wow.
But the problem is, or the upside, I guess, the upside is that as more of these boxes are opened, the price will go up. So not to be like, who's that guy? Jim Cramer? Was he the one who used to have that show on CNN? That was before my time.
Yeah.
Mad Money, right?
Yeah,
buy! We like the Aether Drift boxes! No, I'm unironically considering buying one for my sealed collection. Because if all of the serialized ones get pulled, obviously the box's value goes down. But if it doesn't, I might have a lottery ticket. But Magic the Gathering as well has seen a drop in prices recently, which is another good thing for players, but not for shops. So that was another thing I wanted to bring up, just the fact that it seems that, and Steve, you're much more connected to the Magic world than I am. It seems to me that Magic is trying to find its identity, or it's lost its identity a little bit. Like the fact that I'm trying to pre-order a SpongeBob SquarePants Magic the Gathering deck is a little fascinating, might be the word.
Yeah, I don't, I ducked my head out of that arena a long time ago, but yeah, I mean, this whole Universal Beyond thing, I think was a very good idea short term,
mhm.
but I don't know how much long term that strategy is really going to do. Like right now, the novelty of playing with Patrick Star as your commander is probably pretty funny. But I don't know how that's really going to go over in about 10 years when we look back and we go, yeah, that was cringe as hell.
Oh
I
yeah.
can't believe you were playing, running around with you know, Warhammer 40K soldiers mixed in with my Lord of the Rings, with my Doctor
And
Who
then there's
leader,
SpongeBob just chilling.
and there's SpongeBob just chilling. Like I don't know. I think like right now it's kind of funny and interesting, but I don't know if it's a real good long term
Yeah.
strategy. But yeah, I really would like to see them kind of do their own thing and maybe do their own thing good and not just keep like rehashing their old hits, just doing them worse. Like yeah, I'm not going to go on a Magic the Gathering tangent, but they definitely they had some glory days, and I wish instead of trying to relive those, they would just try and make good ones now.
I also definitely should have prefaced this, and there will be a warning now that I think about it. This is not financial advice. I know nothing of what I'm speaking. Just gonna put
Yeah,
that
I
out
don't
there.
either.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
I know
Yeah.
nothing. Do not listen to me. I am stupid. Um, but yeah, exactly what Steve said. However, the one positive thing I've seen about Magic is like the foundations and stuff has all gone up, especially because it's just very helpful to get people into the game. Now, there's one other very what I would call price competitive game with SWU, and that would be Flesh and Blood, or at least it would have been. So for those of you who don't, there's a very active Flesh and Blood community at a couple of the game stores we go to, which is why I think the four of us are pretty well aware of what it is. Normally, their booster boxes are 60. And I'm not going to sit here and explain how many packs, because I don't even know how many packs are in them. All I know is the prices. All I know is the economics. They're going for 115 now. And I've done some research because I was fascinated why this happened. Apparently, a lot of the new arts are the best art they've ever done. Um, and people are just ripping for the actual arts rather than selling packs. So there's actually a
Oh.
scarcity, and that's what it is. And from what I understand, and correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, because once again I am stupid. From my research, guys, when Flesh and Blood prints, they don't ever reprint. They just don't.
Oh wow,
So
that's a
that's
ballsy
why
move.
the prices are going up. Well, they just haven't had the demand, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But this is crazy. So like it's called The Hunted. Uh, but yeah, that's another thing that I noticed when I was doing the research for this topic is Flesh and Blood. It seems like a really fun game. Enjoy it, and I hope that everybody who bought a bunch of boxes for 50 and can sell them for 120 are eating good right now. But yeah, Flesh and Blood also is no longer not no longer affordable, but SWU now beats that. And the final, what I would call really relevant one, at least in our area, we don't really have a big One Piece community or Weiss, so I didn't include that in this discussion because I have no idea how that stuff works. But Yu-Gi-Oh had a new pre-con deck come out this week, and I've played a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh, but the Blue Eyes White Dragon had a new deck come out this week, and those decks are supposed to be $12, and they're going for 18 on TCG Player. Because, once again, they were underprinted, and people want to buy them. The other thing that's going on right now is a lot of people are doom spending and just dumping money into hobbies, and I respect it, but at the same time, it's messing up the economy of the hobby. So, long story short, thank you for listening to my rant. Star Wars Unlimited is now the most affordable game to get into, exactly what Steve just said. Our most expensive boxes are $91 on TCG Player. Our cheapest boxes are $61 on TCG Player. And the best part about Twin Suns is you only need one copy. Another fun fact is SWU singles went down this week. Luke and Vader are at all-time lows of 32 and 30 respectively. All right, I've been talking for like 15 minutes. I'm going to let someone else talk.
I mean, Chris, do you have any not necessarily games, but points you want to mention or talk about?
Are we talking about economics of SWU?
Yeah, so I'm done with the whole what's going on with the TCG market. My whole point of bringing us to this was SWU is affordable to get into.
Yeah, I mean it's the best time it's ever been to get into SWU as far as affordability. In the past, I've collected card games for a long time. We will not discuss how long. And I mean, in the past, it had never been. I had never bought any booster boxes before, and then SWU came along, and I am buying booster boxes, to the point where I can build multiple decks now. From the cards that I have, I've never amassed a collection that quickly, and I'm enjoying it. It's yeah, it's much more affordable than any of the other card games, to the point where I have steered clear and not gotten back into, I used to collect Magic, I used to collect Pokemon, I used to play both, but I'm not interested in getting back into either of those. I'm quite comfortable and happy, parked right with SWU, and I believe that is where I will stay.
Yeah, you can really tell like how well a set was, I guess, designed or designed based on the price. Like I said, Twilight $61 for a box. Spark was arguably a better set. It was a more pushed set at 93, and then Shadows was pretty middle. We had some great hits in Kylo's TIE Silencer, Poe, the Dark Saber, Snoke. We had some really, really good cards, but then we had some whole mechanics that we didn't really take advantage of a whole lot. Like we got some smuggle cards, but not a whole lot. And there's only one deck that's really taken advantage of bounties. But Twilight, it's like not a whole lot we're really doing with that. Like it's not a whole lot of coordinate. I have yet to really see a whole lot of exploits. So like designing a set directly impacts how financially it's going to go over, and how well a set is designed will influence that. Like I say it again, but I think that set 4 is going to be just as good as Spark is what I'm thinking.
I wholeheartedly agree.
I mean, I got into SWU when they had not printed enough product for
That's the worst time to get in, unfortunately.
yes, it was not a great time to get into it, and I was frustrated at that point in time. I had my little small collection of like commons and uncommons, and definitely struggled there in the beginning, but my collection has grown since then, and now I'm a-okay. But I think that they listened to the community. They came out with the reprint. Definitely took too long for that, but they have done it, and everything is okay now. But I do think that the developers, FFG, is listening to feedback. I think that they have planned things out. I think they're building on past sets. I just talked about, the Ghost Inspector. I think I think they have future plans. I think there's plans for the future. And so even though we may think that, bounties may not have been proper, there may not be a whole lot of support for that, I'm not giving up on the fact that, we may see more bounty stuff in the future, and we may see more for exploit, and we may see more for, I think some of those traits, and I just think we're going to see more in the future that will just expand on things that we want to do and things that we want to use.
It would be interesting if they do a full set, just like, nah. Sorry, that was mid train of thought, full pivot. I was gonna say like a set that just expands on some of those ideas, but then if they wanted to keep that like you're able to draft from each set, that would be the worst set, and you'd want to avoid that like the plague. But maybe
Yeah.
doing like mini sets or something of that sort.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm interested to see if Star Wars ever does any like specialty boxes, if that makes sense. Like not like Pokemon does it, but like how Magic does, which we're getting the collector boxes through Carbonite, but instead of just booster boxes, like maybe booster packs, like 6-pack box. I don't know. I'm interested. I'm curious why they haven't done that yet. Maybe it's lack of demand.
I think it's early, and I think
Yeah.
they're still, getting the hang of things. But I think along the lines of Magic, I think as things grow and more sets come out, I think we will see, certain card prices go up, like
Mhm.
as those cards become in higher demand as new cards come out that affect the demand of them.
Oh yeah, I mean, if they reintroduce a card, like for instance, if they wanted to try and bring back Tech, maybe Tech, the price gets insane, and they want to try and reprint it. They have to think about the set that they reprinted in, as far as a limited environment. Does it make sense to have this
Mhm.
Smuggle All Star in? Is
Mm-hmm.
that going to impact? They now all of a sudden they have to print some other Smuggle cards, and it's a whole lot that goes into, like, you can't just throw Tech into any set.
Yep.
It has to make sense, kind of like with Magic trying to reprint some very powerful older cards and realizing, wow, can't just print Jace the Mind Sculptor in this random standard set, and might alter the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's the same thing with, have to be very careful where they reprint Poe Dameron. Um,
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Rotations will
Hopefully
be
they make the
interesting.
right choice.
But yeah, that's kind of like what we wanted to talk about this week. Basically, like why we think you guys should get into SWU if you're still on the fence about it. Send this to your friends as to why it's a good time to get into this game. It's fun, affordable, and you can actually find product. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, you can almost find it too well.
Yeah,
I know our
literally.
store, you can. There's always boxes there. That's not always a good sign.
It's better than in the beginning when you couldn't find it.
True.
I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I circle back to it again. Like, it's great for the players, but it's horrible
Mhm.
for our store.
Yeah.
But here's the positive thing about that. I feel like Unlimited is a game, and I'm not trying to be. It's never gonna top Magic, and it's never gonna top Pokemon. So if your game store is carrying Pokemon and Magic, those should in theory like carry you for the most part. And I understand that this probably would be hurtful. I think some stores maybe should just start busting packs. I know it sounds like the crackhead in me, but if they hit like a showcase or they hit some really good
You ever
singles.
you ever play TCG Simulator?
Yeah. There's a reason I go bankrupt every
You're
run.
that guy that's over there just
I
busting
am.
packs to try and make rent.
Oh, excuse me, sir. I think I need to buy something for you. No, go away. I'm busy. No.
I'm
Rip.
trying to find this Mon that's worth a whole lot.
Oh my God, it's worth $20,000, and it only cost me 50. And it only cost. But yeah, no, I am. Once again, I. The other thing that made me realize something in my research was shout out to all the local game stores, the people who are taking the risk for the bear market, for the bad times, for the stuff that doesn't sell, for the temporal forces, for stuff like that. For the Twilights, for the Shadows at one point. I know Shadows was really not selling well because it's a hard box to make your money back on.
Oh, they had to over order because they weren't sure if they would get what they ordered or even half of what they ordered.
Yeah,
And then they got like everything they ordered and was like, oh God.
and the fact that you can map Shadows really badly, and I'm not going to explain what that is because I don't want to corrupt.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's so bad.
yeah, it's very bad.
That is so bad.
But our point is, thank you to all the local game stores. We really appreciate you for giving us a place to play. Like Steve said, like we gotta. The moral of the story today is get into Star Wars Unlimited and go buy a pack from your local game store and tell them that you appreciate them. I think that's a good point to end on.
Agreed.
So Chris, you're back, and I've been told you have a deck tech for us.
I do. So I put together a deck that I call the Experienced Republic. With this deck, I put together the leaders Padme and Rey. And with these two leaders, with Padme, she uses Coordinate. As Steve pointed out, that's not used a lot. So I figured I'd give her a shot with her Coordinate ability. It's pretty cool. She can search the top 3 cards of her deck for a Republic card. So within the deck, I made sure to use plenty of Republic cards. I also leaned into using low-cost cards. That way I could try and make sure that I had I always had that Coordinate option on the board. Then with Rey as the second leader, with her action, you can boost up those low-cost units and make them beefier. Also, on her flip side, she gives you some pretty heavy-duty restore with Restore 3. Then, as you move along and playing, many of the cards have abilities that can play off of that Republic trait, such as the Republic Tactical Officer, who has a when played ability that allows you to attack with another Republic unit, getting +2 attack for that attack. Also, you can give that +2 attack to one of the other players if you're trying to play nice, make friends. Another unit that is in the deck, the 501st Liberator, they have a when played that allows you to heal 3 damage from your base if you have another Republic unit. So I tried to take things like that into consideration when building the deck. I added some other units into the deck, that I very rarely do I ever include units that are out of aspect, so I did not break from that when building this deck. But I added some units that give some utility, such as Akbar, who's when played can take advantage of the numerous low-cost units on the board. Also put General Krell in there since I had the double green aspect. That can allow you to draw cards when your friendly units are defeated. Since these are low-cost units that may be, getting wiped out rather frequently, get you some card draw in there. Then I also included several cards in there that can help you create clone units, and that can continue to populate your board again, keep Coordinate on there. And also those clone units can be boosted by Rey. And then if you manage to, which does not always happen in Twin Suns, but if you manage to make it up past 6-7 resources, I included a clone card and choose sides as well, and that can help you turn other players' units on the board against them and turn the game to your advantage.
I like it.
Mm.
Only thing I would add a Jedi lightsaber and a General's blade because you have so many Jedi.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that whatsoever. I have the forces with me on there because of the Jedi units. So I definitely think that there's some room for adjustment in here. This was my first initial strike at it, and I figured I'd play it a couple, 1 or 2 times and
Yeah, absolutely.
then work out the kinks. I have a Luke unit in here. He's high cost. Maybe take him out and replace him with one of the 2 blades. Take something else out and add the other blade as well. There's definitely room to adjust and pivot to add those 2 blades.
And of course, that's not a criticism. That was just the first thing that came out to me.
No,
Yeah, Chris, your deck sucks, and so do you.
Yeah, that's actually what I was saying exactly. Thank you, Steve. Steve's my translator.
but I say this often that I have a theory and a concept, and I always go with it and then play it out and then see what comes from there. So you got my initial draft, and then
I like
for
it.
those of you listening, go with it. see what works for you, what doesn't, and adjust it to what makes you feel all warm and tingly inside.
I really like this. I like this a lot. I mean, Ray ranked really high with all of us, and the fact that she can, give experience to not just your own units, but you could politicize it a little bit and be like,
Mhm.
hey, no, don't attack me. I'll give you an experience counter, that kind of thing. And then almost everything is a republic. So Padme's over there just drawing cards. I think this is great. Looks like a lot of fun.
I wish Padme's ability was free. It should
I
be.
I wish her ability didn't
So
require
stupid.
coordinate.
Mm. One or the other, yeah.
It's one. It should be one or the other. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, both is pretty steep.
Agree on both parts. I would love to see in future sets some stuff. I don't know whether it be an upgrade or whether it be an event that can help you mitigate costs to your leader actions and
Ooh.
even be able to um, bring your leaders back per se once they get flipped or knocked out. I think that would be really cool.
Dude, what about a rare
Ooh, like a
base that was like you lose
Ooh.
5 or 7 health, but your leader ability's free? Crazy.
or it like you can take the we use those X counters to mark that we've used the epic
Mhm.
action. It's like remove X counter from your leader.
Oh, that would be
You flip it
nuts.
twice or something.
Exactly.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Kind of like Palpatine coming back from the dead instead of it being specific to a unit, being able to reuse your epic action on your leader.
Somehow, Ray returned.
It's a forced plan.
Well, thank you very much for sharing that with us, Chris. And as always, it's time for our favorite segment. Play the intro.
What's that card?
Name that card. All right, well, I won. I have a card in mind. I have it pulled up here. And now they all get 5 questions each, and then they have to guess as to what it is. The order on my screen that I'm going to choose is Jonathan, then Chris, then Steve, because that's how you're showing up on my Discord screen.
Nice.
Fair enough.
Let's kick off with let's go slightly vague. Is this a vehicle?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh wow! Right off the bat.
Once in a while, you get a softball. Yeah.
And you can tell me whether I need to rephrase my question, but
Absolutely.
am I allowed to ask which aspect this is, or do I need to ask?
You can,
could
but
be
it'll
as
just give it
specific.
away.
Yeah, you could
It
be as
gives us more
specific as you
information.
want.
Okay, is this an aggression card?
No, it is not an aggression card.
All right, well, I'm going to do the opposite of Jonathan. I'm going to ask a really, really big question. And what set is it from?
Dose.
Dose
Set 2.
vehicle.
So shadows.
Hmm. It's not aggression. Is it? Does it cost between
Oh, I love the betweens.
3 and 6, including them? So
Yes.
3, 4, 5,
Your
6.
confusing scale does include this card. Yeah.
It
So it
costs
could
Yes,
be
it is
4, 5,
between
5,
3
or
and
6.
6, including 3 and 6. Yes, Jonathan.
Is this a cunning card?
No, it is not a cunning card.
Okay.
Is this a vigilance card?
It is not a vigilance card. So round 3.
Hmm. Is this a ground unit?
No.
Does this card have any special abilities?
No.
It's a plane.
So when you say abilities, do you mean keywords, Chris, or do you mean
Yeah.
like on attack?
Like keyword.
Oh, yes, it has a keyword. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was about to
My
say if
mistake.
this
It
is a
has a
plain Jane card,
keyword.
I
It
am
is not an
lost.
on. Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I did
okay.
not, I did not phrase that well.
No, you're all good. That's why I wanted to clarify. It has a keyword. It does not have an on attack or when defeated.
Man, I feel like you got a hard one this week, and I don't know why. It does not have a keyword. Okay.
No.
No.
It has a keyword. It does
Oh,
not have an on attack or when defeated.
okay. Is this a heroic card?
It is not.
Okay.
So it's not aggression, cunning, vigilant, or heroic. Cost between 3 and 6, inclusive. Set to vehicle in space.
Oh,
Don't go. Oh, that just puts the pressure on me, man. How about that?
Round 4.
I have an idea. I think I might know
Oh
what it is.
boy. Uh, is this a neutral card?
When you say neutral, you mean it does not have a hero or not have a villain, or do you mean a gray card?
Ooh, thanks for clarifying.
Absolutely.
Is it a gray card?
It is not a gray card.
Okay.
Is this a villainy card?
It is not a villainy card.
All right, I'm gonna blow my shot because I always know what it is,
You
and
gonna blow
then
your wad?
somebody else guesses it. I'm gonna blow it right now. I don't know the name of it, but I know it's a 3-cost 3/5. The one that has the bounty.
I'm going to accept this. Yes, it is Outlaw Corona. This is correct. I watched the Star Wars Clone Wars arc with Hondo this week, so that's why I chose it.
Nice.
The only reason I know that card is because of Piet. I've been
Yeah.
looking at putting it in Piet.
I also am curious to see how it'll work in Piet. All right, so Steve won
This is a
again.
capital ship.
Very nice.
I am the wiener.
You are the grandest wiener, the Oscar Mayer wiener.
Oh yes.
All right, well, from Under the Twin Suns, we all really appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to us. And thank you for letting me rant my cathartic complaints about TCGs. And thank you to my fellow hosts for giving me a fun experience every week and something to look forward to. We are thankful for each and every one of you, and I'm thankful for everyone on this call. Bye-bye now.